Hello, hello, testing. Hello, testing, hello. Webinar series testing, hello. Achha. Very good morning to everybody, and a warm welcome to the free webinar series presented by the Nehru University, West Bengal. So today we'll be talking about career in biotechnology. So the topics, things that will be covered under this webinar series today is biotechnology, why it is so important, emerging biotechnology industry applications, admission criteria and course curriculum, global and Indian biotechnology industry scenario, job opportunities, and conclusion. And at the end, there will be a Q&A session. So if you have any questions or thoughts, please hold on to the end of this talk, and then I will take your questions. So before that, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Amit Sarkar, Assistant Professor and Head of the Department Biotechnology, the Nehru University. I did my PhD in molecular genetics of pathogenic microorganisms from Bose Institute, Kolkata. And then thereafter, I did my postdoctoral research on molecular genetics of zoonotic pathogens from Rocky Mountain Laboratories, National Institute of Health, USA. So altogether, as a student, as a researcher, and as a teacher, I have almost more or less about more than 20 years of experience in this biomedical field. So first thing is, what is biotechnology? I will quickly go into these things and why it is so important. Actually, biotechnology is an umbrella term for various technological applications to obtain products from raw biological materials, especially involving genetics or recombinant DNA technology. Biotechnology provides, you can say, tools for adapting and modifying biological organisms, biological product, processes, systems. Those are found in nature to develop processes that are much more efficient, economical as well. So things like bread to broiler egg to the off-season vegetables are a result of biotechnology. So but we have came across a long way from that stage. Now, through genetic engineering, scientists have been able to create new medicines, including interferon for cancer patients, synthetic insulin for diabetic patients, Hep B vaccines, etc. So we can say that biotechnology is present in almost every sphere of human lives. Now, as the population grows, scientists are looking to the biotechnologies for solution to various problems like shortage of food, infant mortality, sustainable agriculture, etc., etc. So in a sense, biotechnologies tap into resources available now to improve the quality of human life. Although mostly biotechnology is important, it has implications in health and medicines, but actually it's to be found in every sphere. So now we will move into the emerging biotechnology industry application that are very new things. Most of the people are not that much aware of these type of applications of biotechnology. So first of all is personalized medicine. So nowadays, people are trying to customize medicine because one particular medicine may work for somebody and may not work for the other one, or may have side effects to one person and may not have any side effects to another person. That depends upon the genetic makeup of the patient. So depending on the genetic makeup of the patient, research has been done to customize medicine, to prepare personalized medicine. It's already being used a little bit, to a little extent for cancer treatment. Then silicon biotechnology. So silicon is one of the very important material for semiconductors. Now, there are several invertebrate organisms which produces silicon naturally. Now, people are trying to decipher the genetics, how they're producing the silicon and how that silicon could be retrieved from those invertebrate organisms, so that the huge amount of silicon demand we have at present could be achieved without affecting our environment. Bio-nanotechnology is another sector where biodegradable polymers of nanomedicine can be used to carry chemotherapeutic drugs to the specific target tissue, which substantially reduces the side effects and improves the efficacy of the drug at the same time. Then number 4, biocatalysis. This helps in quickening the biological reactions, which enable high yield of specific product. Natural catalysts like protein enzymes, etc., are used to affect a chemical transformation of organic compounds. But due to advances made in recombinant technology, the application of biocatalysis to an expanded range of chemistries has become possible. I can give you a funny example here. So maybe we are aware of the fact that people used papaya for cooking meat. The reason was not known for a long time. Then people came to know that papaya contains an enzyme called papain, which helps to softening the meat. So now instead of using the papaya or raw papaya, people are extracting or producing the papain enzyme from bacteria, and they may use it to the meat for the same effect. But it will be cost much less, and you can use if you can produce in a bulk. So that is one simple example of biocatalysis. Microalgae. A lot of research is now underway with microalgae because it has a huge lipid content that is comparable to the other agricultural crops. So we can get huge amount of lipid, and we can achieve our lipid demand through this microalgae. Fiber processing. There are different types of natural fibers that needs to be processed before using, for textile, for paper industry. Now, usually you use lots of energy, water, and different type of toxic chemicals to process this fiber before making the final product. Now, different types of enzymes produced by living organisms can be used to get the same effect, but here the input of energy, water, and the toxic chemicals will be much more less. So environmental impact will be, environmental burden will be go down readily with this fiber processing thing with the biotechnology. Bio-leaching, it should be bio-leaching, not bio-bleaching. To liberate copper from sulfide ore, the bioprocess uses naturally occurring bacteria to oxidize the sulfur and iron present in the ore at ambient temperature. But the conventional process, if you want to isolate copper from the ore, it involves transporting the mined ore to a smelter where the impurities are driven up at very high temperature. So if you want to get the high temperature, you have to input a huge amount of energy. But bio-leaching process is carried out of the mine site itself. It saves cost, it saves energy to require to transport the ore and also to eliminate the emission. Lastly, the biofuel that we almost all of us heard about, because the global consumption of biofuel is continuously increasing as our conventional fossil fuel sources are going down every day. Biofuels are non-polluting, significantly reduces the greenhouse gases, tropical weather with plentiful sunshine and arable land, and are most suitable for a huge amount of biomass production and biofuel cultivation. So these are a few emerging applications of biotechnological industry. To name a few, there are a lot of other things out there as well. Now, if somebody wants to take admission in undergraduate course in biotechnology, what would be the admission criteria? Admission criteria is 60% marks in most of the universities and colleges. And in science subject, that could be physics, chemistry, and biology, or that could be physics, chemistry, and mathematics. So it's just 60% marks in science subject in higher secondary examination. For master's degree entrance, after doing BSc in biotechnology or BSc in any other biological sciences, that could be botany, geology, physiology, environmental sciences, or microbiology, etc. Most of the places, the universities have different criteria they set. Sometimes they ask for 60% marks or 55% marks. Some ask to go for a joint entrance type of examination. Some university conducts their own examination. So you have to look into the particular university's brochure, what they're talking about. Curriculum-wise, what you have to study during the biotechnology, the undergraduate or postgraduate courses, you have to study the basic biological things like biochemistry, immunology, molecular biology, microbiology, of course, etc. At the same time, you also have to study some technology aspects like fermentation technology, bioprocessing and transformation technologies, etc. And as a auxiliary subjects, you also have to study English, physics, chemistry, mathematics, and statistics as well. Now the question is, career-wise, is it a good choice to study biotechnology at the undergraduate level or not? Well, choosing career is very important after passing out the higher secondary, after passing graduation, completing graduation, because at this current days of competition, we cannot randomly choose any subject to pursue studies. We have to be kind of choosy or selective about that. I have personally seen a couple of persons who are very bright students, but they chose a wrong subject or career and couldn't get enough success that they actually deserve. So we have to be very careful about choosing career. Although, whatever subject you chose, your success mostly depends upon whether you are dedicated enough, whether you're studying enough or not. But still, I would say that career-wise biotechnology is considered as the most sought after career opportunity. But that is only a statement. There must be some logic behind this argument, because every subject person can claim the same. So what is the logic behind this argument? As biotechnology is an application-based subject, its demand depends upon the growth of the industry sector. So with the growth of biotechnology industry sector in India as well as globally, this subject offers an added advantage of providing immense opportunity to develop a successful career. But still, we're using a vague word like a growth or showing a graph like that. We have to do some fact checks here. So we'll move into first global growth potential of biotechnology sector. biotechnology market size as on 2015 was a little more than 330 billion US dollars. But the interesting thing is that it is expected to be more than double, $775.2 billion by 2024. So that comes to compound annual growth rate of 9.9%. That's a huge growth. Mostly that market is in US, Canada, and some West European countries. Now, what about the Indian scenario? If you look into the Indian scenario, India ranked 12 as a biotech destination worldwide, and number 3 as the Asia Pacific region. And it is considered as the fastest growing industrial sector in India. And its market value is expected to be $100 billion by 2025, which is now resting at only $11 to $12 billion mark thing. So within 5 years, there will be huge growth. So it's in industrial application, this word growth trajectory is being used very commonly. So its growth trajectory is very, very strong, and it's been predicted as a future world's hotspots for biotech industry. India also is the largest producer of recombinant hepatitis B vaccine. These facts, like its market value, its growth trajectory, or prediction, comes from the Association of Biotechnology-Led Enterprises, or commonly known as ABO. Indian biotechnology sector could be divided in 5 different sectors. Like first, biopharma, that covers the lion's share, that takes the lion's share. Then comes the bioservices, bioagriculture, bioindustry, and bioinformatics. Biopharma segment deals, of course, the name suggests, biopharmaceuticals that include drugs, vaccines, proteins, antibiotics, and this deals primarily with the diagnostics and therapeutics. Bioservices refers to mostly clinical trials, researches, and contract manufacturing contracts. So different companies give contracts to different small biotechnology companies in India, small or mid-level companies, and they produce the things. So bioservices covers almost 18% of the share, whereas biopharma covers 64%. Then comes bioagriculture. This segment deals with crops, food production and processing, includes scientific research work on biopesticides, biofertilizers, genetically modified or GMO seeds and crops. That comes about 14%. Then bioindustry segment. Bioindustry segment covers the research work related to yeast-based enzymes, organic amino acids, etc. Also includes extensive work related to biofuels and food science and technology. That covers 3% of the total market share as on financial year 2016-17. The last segment, bioinformatics, although it has a huge potential, but still its market share is more or less about 1%, which deals with the bio-IT services, covers covers computational biology, computational chemistry, genetic sequencing, etc. Now, if you look into the leading biotech companies in India, there are almost 800 total biotechnology companies in India, covering all the small, mid-level, or big giants. So here I am just going to mention about the giants of biotech companies in India. Biocon, named the first one, then Serum Institute of India, Reliance Life Sciences, Bharat Biotech, Ankur Seeds, Novo Nordisk, Piramal Healthcare, Dr. Reddy's Lab, India Immunologicals, Brainwave, Shanta Biotech, Bharat Biotech, Panacea Biotech, TransAsia, Mahiko Biotech, etc., etc. I think I doubled Reliance Life Sciences twice. Now, the question is, why India is making so much progress in biotechnology? What's in there in India? And why India is ranked 3 in the Asia Pacific range or world, ranked 12 in global world as a biotech destination? There must be some reasons behind that. Yes, of course, there are some advantages. First, demand potential. As you know, the Indian population used to have a huge population. We have a huge market for diagnostics and health service and other biotech product as well. So there is no lack of market. If you can produce some biotechnical product, there are people, there are consumers to take it. Now, the driving force is a huge growth in Indian economy. With the growth of Indian economy, people have more money to spend in different things. So that money could be channelized into different biotechnology product. They'll be interested more and more to buy different biotechnological product if they have loose money in their hands. So huge growth in Indian economy also working as a driving force. Then foreign direct investment, huge opportunities. Different foreign companies are investing in this biotechnology sector in India. Skilled manpower is a very much important thing for doing good. But if a private foreign company wants to establish a biotechnology industry in India, they'll be looking for skilled manpower. They do not want to hire skilled manpower from overseas. India has a huge skilled manpower to work in the biotechnology sector. Then innovative opportunities. Private as well as public initiatives are being taken to give innovative opportunities to work in innovative way, to produce something innovative for biotechnology. Government of India policy support is also working as a huge boost. But we shall come into that a little later, how Government of India is helping. So India government has already supported more than 1,000 startup companies. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, which is chaired by Honorable Prime Minister, also working towards accelerating discovery research for the early development of biopharmaceuticals. India already has set up several biotechnological parks, clusters in almost covering the entire India, starting from Himachal Pradesh to Kerala and from Gujarat to Assam or West Bengal. So huge amount of biotechnology parks and clusters where different biotechnology companies can come work together side by side, and all different types of support will be provided by Government of India. That thing is, of course, working as a huge boost or encouraging fact for the foreign as well as Indian entrepreneurs. Now we will be moving into the actual thing, the career opportunities in biotechnology. We can easily bifurcate into two parts. One is higher studies and another is industrial job opportunities. If a biotechnology graduate wants to pursue higher studies, wants to move, go ahead, then he or she can do the MSc or MTech in biotechnology. For doing MTech, he needs to appear for a GATE examination. This is being conducted by Government of India. And now, after doing the MSc, they can appear for different NET examination like CSAN NET, DBT NET or ICMR NET, and can opt for a PhD program. So at the time when reaching to the PhD program, will be around the age of 23, 24, and at the time maybe monetary things will be an important factor. And crack the examination, then you'll be able to get a fellowship of say 30,000 to 40,000 per month, which is totally tax-free. And thereafter, the question comes, and what I will do after completing my PhD? You can definitely opt for postdoctoral. That postdoctoral do in India or abroad. Most of the people chose abroad as for the postdoctoral research. And as a postdoctoral research, you will get a hands-up fellowship. There are different Indian schemes as well to do the postdoctoral research in India. Outside India, if you go in US, you may easily get 45 to 60,000 US dollar per year as a postdoc researcher. After completing the postdoc research, you can opt for a professor post in those countries as well, or you can come back to India to work as an assistant professor in a university, or you can join if you like, if you have a liking for teaching, etc. Or you can join as a research scientist in different research institutes that India have. But those things are totally for the person who wants to pursue higher education, who likes to, who have some patience, who likes to dedicate much more time in education. And of course, as you go in the ladder after doing the graduation, the more and more job opportunities will be there. So what are the job opportunities? As you have seen, there are several different companies out there. So you can get the job in different sectors like food science, pharmaceutical science, manufacturing, clinical research, genetic engineering, agriculture, animal husbandry, quality assurance, enzyme engineering, tissue culture, sales and technical support, software engineering, business management, and government jobs like policy making as well. The question comes of what is the in-demand careers for now. So it could be biomedical engineer, then biochemist or medical scientist, then microbiologist, biological or clinical technician, epidemiologist, process development scientist, biomanufacturing specialist, etc., etc. So what will be my job description? You will be able to work for cloning, DNA cloning, working with the protein structure. You may dedicate your time to develop new drugs for drug designing, controlling hazardous waste material, and even creating bionic human organs comes under the umbrella of biotechnology. But what I'm also interested to talk about here is alternative career options. If somehow after completing the graduation or even the master's, you are not anymore interested in biotechnology, you want to go for some alternative career options. There are several other career options. I'm not talking out here about that after doing graduation, you can go for bank examination, railway examination, not like that. How you can use your expertise, your education, but not channelizing into the conventional options, but going for something alternative options. Say, for example, medical writing or technical copywriting is one thing. It includes writing handbooks, product manuals, and application notes. Copywriting produces the copy for marketing, etc. Then scientific journalism, something like the medical writing thing. Data science and big data analytics, also you can process the biological data through it. Product marketing and management, technical sales, business development, market research and counseling, and of course, intellectual property and patent law. Sometime, like for the intellectual property and patent law, you have to go do let's say 6 months diploma course or something like that. Otherwise, you can use your expertise or biotechnology expertise and work on all those fields. Lastly, entrepreneurship. This particular field gives you a huge options for doing own startup business. As I said, Government of India is very much encouraging under their Make India initiative for biotechnology entrepreneurship. You can design or plan something, some biotechnology related business, and you can submit to the Government of India. If your plan or business plan has some merit, government will start, it will try to give you a primary support in terms of financial assistance. So these are the different sectors that we will talk about. So lastly, you can say that India holds enormous potential for the development of biotechnology. The enormous Indian biodiversity makes it one of the ideal places for conducting research and developing new solutions in biotechnology. And in addition, as I said, the huge government and private support makes the current time as an ideal one for becoming a part of such an innovative field and to give your career a right direction. So in Nehru University, we're offering BSc Honors in Biotechnology 3 years course and MSc in Biotechnology a 2 years course. So if you have any questions after this, after going back, if you have any question comes into mind, you can email me at amit.sarkar@tnu.in, or you can call me the phone number, and you can visit our website www.tnu.in, and you'll get all the detailed information there. So that's all. I say thank you. So if you have anybody have any questions, it's the time to shoot me. Any questions? I can see Shuman. Do you have any questions for me? I'm still here. If you have any questions, you can shoot me.
मीटिंग ऑनलाइन चला था कोलकाता में कॉन्फ्रेंस होते
What I'm getting is
मुळा का तकलीफ नहीं होता है तेरा सालों की सिस्टर तो सी शादी में ब्रह्मा के इंसान को करे नहीं करे देता है आज मोटाई पर अकल में जात नहीं है इधर बात सुनते कोई चीज नहीं जाना चाहे ना मरा
Rohit Dhar. Rohit, do you have any questions? Thanks to all of you for joining and our series.